Some people know exactly what they want to do in life. Madonna, Serena Williams, Steve Jobs, and many others were preparing for their chosen careers in their early years. But maybe you're like many people and you don't really know what you want to do for a career, or even what types of jobs are available. Maybe you're currently employed, or perhaps you're just starting out in your career. So what career or livelihood, vocation, occupation, profession, however you want to think about it, which career might be a good fit for you? It's never too early or too late to learn. This lesson and the next two will introduce you to a set of tools that can help you figure out what you do best and what you most love to do. Then you'll be able to figure out which organizations most interest you, and when you interview with those organizations, your enthusiasm will be your best preparation. We're going to start with an interest profiler. This is a tool that creates a profile of your interest. Duh. Well, you might know the word profile from your Facebook or LinkedIn profiles. I think of the interest profiler as a kind of compass, a direction finder that helps steer you toward the kind of work you will enjoy. That's important to know because the work you enjoy is the work you'll do best. Now, the profiler I'm going to show you is based on research by Dr. John Holland. It's used by career counselors around the world. Dr. Holland was a psychologist at Johns Hopkins University. He found that people are happiest when their work fully engages their abilities. His findings echo Steve Jobs' words from this Stanford commencement address in 2005.
Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do.
The idea of doing what you love is deeply rooted in the English language culture, but it might not be in yours. Before we move on, take a moment to think about Jobs' words. Welcome back. I'd like to give you a heads up on the 6 different categories of interest areas in the profiler. Now, don't think of yourself as necessarily fitting into one of these categories. Again, think of these as directions on a career compass. They point to interest directions that can guide you towards work that you'll most likely enjoy and organizations that you'll want to be part of. Remember, the enthusiasm you show for a job will communicate powerfully to an interviewer. R, realistic interests, relate to doing. People with realistic interests like work that includes practical, hands-on problems and answers. They're often good at electronics and mechanics or engineering and lab work. I, investigative interests, relate to thinking. People with investigative interests like work that has to do with ideas and thinking, rather than physical activity or leading people. They're often good at analyzing data, solving puzzles, and figuring out difficult problems. A, artistic interests, relate to creating. People with artistic interests like to work in unstructured situations where they can use creativity and come up with new ideas. They are often good at designing, developing, speaking, advertising, and creative writing. S, social interests, relate to helping. People with social interests like to work directly with other people. They enjoy teaching and counseling, as well as communicating or curing others. They may like to work with a special group like children or the elderly. E, enterprising. Enterprising interests relate to persuading. People with enterprising interests like to start new projects and make decisions that affect others. They enjoy influencing, persuading, and performing for other people. They often excel at selling things, promoting ideas, and managing people. C, conventional. These interests relate to organizing. People with conventional interests like to make sure systems and projects work efficiently and effectively. They like structured situations with goals, deadlines, and instructions. They're often detail-oriented and may enjoy working with data. Now let's look at the interest profiler. To do so, open a web browser and enter the web address shown on the screen. I recorded this earlier, and you can follow along on the screen. All right, let's look now at the interest profiler. That is at http://www.mynextmove.org/explore/IP. So this is the ONET interest profiler. We can go ahead and click Next. You see here there are questions about work activities, things that you could possibly do. The point here is you want to decide how you would feel about doing each type of work. And we'll click Next. You don't want to think about whether or not you have the training, whether or not you have the education for it, how much money you'd make at it. You just want to think about, would that be something that would interest you? Go ahead and click Next. This is not a test. No right or wrong answers. Just try to have fun with it. So here's our screen. So we're going to start here. We have build kitchen cabinets. That's not something that I'm particularly good at, but I think I'd like to be able to do that. Laying brick or tile. No, I don't think I'd like to do that. Develop a new medicine. Of course, I don't have the training to do that, but I would like to do that. That sounds interesting. Studying ways to reduce water pollution. That sounds interesting. Writing books or plays. That sounds interesting. Play a musical instrument. Yes. Teach an individual an exercise routine. Well, that doesn't sound like something I'd like to do. Help people with personal or emotional problems. That's not something I would like to do. Buy and sell stocks and bonds. Well, I'm unsure about that. I'll just click unsure there. I have an option to come back later and look at the things I've checked unsure. Manage a retail store. No, I don't think I'd want to do that. Develop a spreadsheet using computer software. I do a lot of that, so I'm going to like that. Proofread records or forms. I'm a good proofreader, so yes, I guess I like that. All right, so you have 5 more screens that you can complete like this, and I'll let you do that on your own, and then we will show you where you go from there. All right, so here you see the interest profiler results. You see the distribution in different interest areas. You notice the object of this is not just you've defined one interest area. Typically, with this interest profile, these Holland codes, you look at your top 3. So my top 3 are artistic, investigative, and enterprising. So that would be called AIE. You might be surprised that social is not one of my top 3 areas, yet here I am teaching. But in fact, it's the investigative and artistic aspects of working at a university that appeal to me. I did another assessment at the website you'll see on the screen. It's at BuzzFeed.com. Ashley Perez, what career should you have? This is more for fun. This is not quite as long and involved as the other assessment. But it's again this theme of do what you love what you do. And you can see here, you've got a number of what would you spend your tax refund on? Pick a trilogy. What would you bring on a desert island? Who's your dream dinner guest? What best describes you? What city should you actually live in? And pick a magazine. What do you look for in a workplace? Pick a genre. Genre is a category of movies, category of books. Pick a social network. And then when that's all through, you'll get a typical career or typical position. And look what came up for me. So I got a big kick out of that. In the next section of the profiler, from your interests, you can consider different job zones. Each job zone represents a different level of experience, education, and training. After you've got your interest profiler results, you can click Next here. You see you come to Job Zones. This will help you focus your search. The question here is, you now do look at education and training, how much experience you need for something. And you have the choice here. You can look at a current job zone, or you can look at a future job zone, what you plan to get in the future. And then you can choose from little or no job preparation, all the way to extensive job preparation. So let's click high job preparation here. And we see in high preparation needed, you see a little overview of what that corresponds to. And then if we click Next, you will see possible, we'll take high job preparation, possible careers, and you can see we've got various possible careers in here: technical writers, video game designers, graphic designers, a number of things here, and you can continue to look for more careers. From these, you can go on to research possible career areas that you would enjoy. We'll show you some tools later in the course that will help you identify the core skills needed for a career. And then later in the course, how you can go about presenting those skills to an interviewer. Then you'll be able to practice that and move on. I hope you found this profiler thought-provoking. There are a couple of survey questions that follow where you can tell me what you think. You'll also find below this video a glossary of phrases and words that I used in this lesson. They're all high-frequency expressions that native speakers of English use. At the end of this module, you'll have the chance to combine your research from the interest profiler with the research we'll do in the next video. That should help you not only focus your job search, but prepare for those job interviews. I'll see you in the next video.